Welcome everyone. This is our another weekly live Q&A. Remember, we're here to answer any fitness questions you have, so feel free to throw them in the chat. If you do happen to be watching on the replay, you can always throw your fitness questions in and we'll get to them in the following week. Should you have questions, but maybe you don't want to share them publicly in the chat, please feel free to direct message us and we'll have a discussion on the side. If you're okay with me using the subject for a Q&A, I can still kind of cover it and get into deeper detail, or we can just have a sidebar conversation. Either of those are fine. We do want to make sure everyone has opportunity to get their question heard and answered. We had one early question from our YouTube channel. It was asking about exercises and things to do kind of at work at the desk. So I'll kind of go over idea theory first and then kind of get into a few different things as possibilities. Typically with kind of during the work day, especially if it's kind of, you tend to be at the desk most of the day. The idea isn't, we're not trying to get, like a workout. We're just trying to get you to get up and move your body rather than being kind of stuck in stagnation for long extended periods of time. Because there's actually been some research that's come out. This was predominantly studying kids and screen time, but the longer you're at rest in that very sedentary state, you can actually hit a point where you're dropping below basal metabolic rate, which means you're actually burning less calories than what you technically should be for your maintenance level of calories. So definitely not something that we want to see happen a lot throughout the day when we're concerned with trying to keep our weight in control, maybe even lose weight in the grand scheme of things. So we want to make sure that we're getting the body up, getting you moving, make the blood flow a little bit, kind of stimulate those metabolic processes a little bit, so we're not kind of putting our body in that stagnation position. So this doesn't have to be complex. Really and honestly, getting up, going for 2 to 5 minute walk. It might just be a lap around the cubicles. It might be go to the stairwell, go up a flight, come down a flight. Just something kind of quick, short, to break up every hour or 2 hours of kind of static sitting. Another thing that I do with a lot of my clients, I give them of course, my clipboard cleared, so give me one moment here. I give them a list of stretches to do. And these are essentially kind of corrective stretches that are kind of designed around people who are stuck at a desk for extended periods of time. So this is the playlist from our YouTube channel in the chat that gives kind of the explanation and visual demo of each of those stretches that I give most of our clients. These are things that are great to throw in. Again, every hour, 2 hours, do a few just to kind of get up, get some blood flow, open up some of the tighter areas that tend to get more kind of constricted and contracted when we're stuck at a seated desk position for long periods of time. Great stretches. Doing them at least once or twice a day is what we recommend for most of our clients we're kind of starting to see postural deviations from that prolonged seated positions that are either causing issues around the neck and shoulders or issues in our lower back with tightness there. So some great options there. And then let's say you've got your own office, or maybe you're allowed to kind of move around within your own cubicle, but you're not necessarily allowed to, like, the boss sees me going for a walk, I'm going to get in trouble if I'm doing it every hour. I get that. Some things that you can kind of do around your desk. Some of the stretches in that playlist are seated stretches, so you can kind of fit those in. And then there's some things you can kind of do at or around your desk just to, again, part of the idea is that we're just trying to get the blood moving. We're not trying to get, a workout that's going to bring major, muscle development and gains. It's not necessarily going to give us, major increased stamina or VO2 improvements. It's just going to get you moving. So just kind of keep that in mind. Um, from your chair, you can do just basic sit to stands, stand all the way up, come back all the way down. If you can handle it, you can do it without the chair and just doing full body weight squats as low as you comfortably can, coming all the way back up. If you want advanced, you can do a lunge or a split, what they call a split squat, stationarily. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, coming down, coming all the way up. Try and do an equal amount on both legs. And then another thing, if you want some upper body flow, you can do push-ups on your desk, at your desk. That way you're not necessarily getting and crawling all the way on the ground. You're not necessarily needing to do a whole lot. Maybe you do, 10 to 15, run through one or two times. Those different things like that are, again, it's about getting the blood flowing more frequently throughout the day. It's not like we're trying to do workouts that are going to make it so we don't have to hit the gym or go for a walk at some point in the day. It's just something to break up long extended periods of times of sitting. The reasons for that, again, if you're sitting more than 1 to 2 hours continuously at a time, we're going to see a lot of muscle imbalances tend to start developing because we tend to have our hip flexors shorten, our glutes and hamstrings lengthen, our shoulders and chest, a lot of our neck muscles tend to tighten and shorten, while our back muscles tend to lengthen and cause postural deviations. These postural deviations will then start causing pain around a lot of those joint areas. So if you're feeling a lot of stiffness and aching in your shoulders or in your neck, or if you're noticing a lot of low back tightness and pain while you're sitting for longer periods of time, we want to start breaking up that seated duration. So every 1 to 2 hours, we're getting up, going for a walk, maybe hitting a step well if you've got more than one floor at the office, or just doing some stationary exercises at your desk are ways to just get up, get the blood flowing. That way we're not hitting those long stagnated bouts of time. If you're at your desk, ideally, you get 4 hours, maybe a break somewhere in there, then your lunch, another 4 hours with another break somewhere in there. That's not terrible, but if we can get a little more, just kind of shake up those long drawn out seated times. What I try and recommend to most of my clients, at least once an hour, 2 to 5 minutes, get up, get the blood moving, whether it be some of the stretches that are in the playlist in the comments, going for a walk, going through some quick steps, or doing just some quick body weight stuff at your desk. It's really just about getting your body moving and going. It's not about, trying to make you sweat. It's not about trying to set, new records with anything exercise wise. It's just about just move a little bit so we're not stuck in that drawn out stagnant position. Because again, muscle imbalances, there are studies showing that, after a couple hours, they're seeing your metabolic rate dip below your basal metabolic rate, which means you're actually burning less calories than what it takes typically to sustain you if you were moving at least somewhat frequently. So that's definitely not something that we want to see frequently, because that's going to make it harder to maintain a healthy weight. It really is going to make it hard to burn body fat if you're trying to lose weight. So the more we can move throughout the day, the better. So there's just kind of some tips, ideas around the aspect of trying to move more during the day, but I'm stuck kind of in the office instead of out and about, or have more control over what I can and can't do throughout the day. So try some of those, see what works. It's not about, which one's better than the other. It's just about doing something anything that you can get up and move around, even if it's, maybe once an hour, instead of sending an IM or an email, you go and talk face to face to your coworker or boss or other department person. Um, Things like that, where you can get moving a little bit, you're seen doing a little bit more, um, might help you in the office. Don't just be up and about to for up and about sake. If you can make a purpose behind it, that way you're kind of hitting two birds with one stone. Um, just a few thoughts in there. If you do have follow-up questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. We'll follow up with them in future episodes. In the meantime, remember to stay persistent in your consistent pursuit of health and have a wonderful week.